Once David's love directive is fulfilled, he falls asleep or passes out, so the pain of not being able to satisfy his mother finally disappears. David can communicate with these beings, unique robots called mechs, and they fulfill David's only wish by restoring his family's home based on David's memories. Basically, I believe that the mechs David encounters are robots that evolved long before humans disappeared. Not aliens. The idea of artificial intelligence AI is taken from the short story Super Toys Last All Summer by Brian Aldiss. Kubrick liked the idea of making a story about a boy who can never satisfy his mother. But the more he worked on it over the decades, the more he became convinced that he was not the right person to tell the story. He said, they tell him they can't make a real child out of him. But David insists on using his knowledge to recreate his missing mother using genetic material from a strand of hair he had. Even if the mechs fulfill David's fantasy, I'm not sure that love or compassion can be learned from them. I find the 2,000-year time jump interesting, making David almost a godlike being to the mechs. Spielberg himself wasn't inclined to this idea, but he enjoyed watching some of the conceptual drawings and historical documentaries that Kubrick made. In this clip, Spielberg explains that many critics thought he was the one who added the mechs at the end. But it was actually Kubrick's idea, and it came directly from his processing. After all, David was a computer who had one directive to fulfill: get his mother's love. Spielberg may have used Kubrick's notes, but I think the film that was made is essentially Spielberg's. There is a certain cynicism in this, as they are essentially trying to alleviate his suffering and fulfill a directive that his program has long wanted to see through. Joe is then taken over by the authorities, who want the robots off the streets. But before that can happen, he programs his car to hide David underwater. David and Teddy are trapped in an underwater vehicle after colliding with an old fragment of the Coney Island Ferris wheel. Spielberg shrugs his shoulders and says that he felt compelled to make the film there because of Kubrick, but also because of what was important to him.